Hello. We're going to go over my top 5 exercises for postnatal general aches and pains. So we're filming from the wonderful Gertrude Street Yoga Studio in Melbourne. Welcome, and let's get started. I'm going to get you to bring your chin down towards your chest. We're going to roll the chin over, down towards the right armpit, and then rolling the chin back into the center and over to the left armpit. Down and over to the right, and then down and over to the left. This time when we go back to the right, we're going to go a little bit further. So we're keeping the chin towards the armpit, but now we're going to see if we can get it towards the back of the armpit. So we don't want to be up here. We want to be as close to the armpit as possible, and hopefully you can feel a stretch down through the front of the neck. So over to the left, stretching through the front of the neck, and over to the right, stretching through the front of the neck. This, I feel, is one of the most important postnatal yoga exercises, because once you have a baby, you spend a lot of time looking down at that baby and a lot of time with your head and neck dropped forward. So let's do 2 more of those ones, and we will then return our way all the way back into the center. Beautiful. All right, the next one is to interlock the fingers, and we're going to take the fingers around in a figure 8. So yes, I know this is not actually a figure 8. This is actually an infinity symbol. But some people don't know what an infinity symbol looks like, so let's call it a figure 8 on its side. Wrists are one of the most common things I treat postnatally, so getting some really good wrist movements in. And this is my favorite one because it moves the wrists in a lot of different directions. All right, we're going to keep with that figure 8, and I'm going to get you to see if you can go smaller and faster. It might pay to look away from the screen because sometimes it's a little difficult to coordinate your own wrists whilst looking at my wrists. In fact, I'm struggling because I'm looking at my own wrists. Right, I'm going to get you to slow it down again, and then just pause for me, and we're going to go back in the opposite direction. If you lose your opposite direction, come into the direction that you're comfortable with, drawing a figure 8. Slow it down as much as you can, and then pause, and then see if you can reverse it. If you've got this one down pat, and certainly if you've been doing prenatal yoga with me, you'll have this one down pat, then we see if we can go faster. Again, this is a really, really useful exercise postnatally because there's a lot of baby holding, a lot of head holding. Basically, parenting is wrist work, and often our wrists are just not prepared for that wrist work. All right, releasing, you can give them a little bit of a wiggle and a move. From here, I'm going to get you to come onto all fours. So if you are sore through your wrists, if that's a problem for you, you might like to come onto all fours this way. Otherwise, hands underneath the shoulders. We're just going to do a standard cat pose. So breathe in, look up towards the ceiling, breathe out, rounding the back and looking down towards the belly button. So breathing in to look up to the ceiling, and breathing out to round and look down towards the belly button. So sometimes a cat pose, even though it's one of the most simple yoga exercises, sometimes a cat pose is really just what the spine needs to give it some good movement and a good stretch out. If you're the kind of person who is easily bored, feel free to do a side to side cat pose or a disco cat, which is around in a circle. If you're not easily bored, though, I honestly don't think you can go past the standard cat. The biggest trap with your standard cat is that people do the cat pose like this without much awareness. As you do your cat pose, really try and sink your belly down towards the ground, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Push into the hands, round the spine, and really see if you can get to your end point. Rounding and lifting. Beautiful. All right, settling back into the center. I'm going to get you to make your way all the way up to standing. I have a position, this position here, I call this a cactus arms position. We're going to take one cactus arm and we're going to pop that cactus arm either onto a wall or a door frame or a hanging rug. And then we're going to turn our body away from the wall. Let's hold that for 30 seconds. Feeling a nice big stretch through the front of that shoulder blade. Or through the front of the shoulders, probably more accurate. And then we'll change over to the other side. Again, stretching through the front of the shoulder. Beautiful. All right, releasing. Give your shoulders a good wiggle and a move. Of course, what would postnatal rehab be without a little bit of stomach and pelvic floor work? And I've been a little bit sneaky because I've counted necks as 1, wrists as 2, cat pose as 3, chest opening as 4, and then I'm putting stomach and pelvic floor together as 5, even though it's probably 5, 6. So if you're unaware of how to engage the pelvic floor, it would be better if you watched one of the other videos that I've done on specifically pelvic floor. If you have an awareness of it, let's start by gathering up the pelvic floor and then releasing. Gathering up and releasing. Tensing and releasing. Drawing your diamond in and lifting and releasing. Some people think of an elevator and releasing. Some people think of petals of a flower closing. If you know how to move your pelvic floor, but you're really struggling to identify your pelvic floor, just use your bottom. So just squeeze your bottom together and think of lifting and then resting, lifting and resting. All right, this time what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze, see if we can hold for as long as possible, and then releasing. Let's do 2 more of those. So squeezing, hold for as long as possible. And if that's 1 or 2, that is absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. And releasing. And 1 more, squeezing and releasing. Beautiful. Now the stomach is of exactly the same type. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 pulses with the stomach. So we're going to pull in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a little difficult to talk and do that at the same time. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this time we'll draw the belly button in towards the spine. We still want to keep breathing. So most people, when they really use their stomach muscles and really draw the belly in, they stop breathing and releasing and drawing it in and releasing, drawing it in Let's hold this one a little bit longer and releasing. Well done. Thank you for doing your exercises with me. Namaste.